And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Legend of Zelda Penta Triforce Tournament. I am Algernon25 here with my co-commentator Nora Strya as we have another exciting Round 2 match with TruantGamer and JVeth going at it. How are you doing, Nora?
I'm doing great, Algernon. How's your night been so far?
It has been pretty exciting, although not nearly as exciting as this race. Truant, definitely a veteran of the game. JVeth made it to, I believe, the repechage of last year's tournament. He's only gotten better. This should be a really good race. And for those of you who are thinking, oh, it's Truant, he's got to buy. Have you watched any of this tournament so far? We have had plenty of really good runners getting knocked early. Darkfalls taking a loss. Crimson taking a loss. Saber taking a loss. So
well, let's not talk about that last one.
Oh, see, all right, fine. Anyway, it looks like our runners are just about to get ready in IRC, so accounting for Twitch delay, we will be getting underway in just a few moments.
And for those of you wondering about the Saber match, I drew him in the 0-1, so
yes,
and we're underway.
Yeah, definitely very unfortunate to get Saber, especially at 0-1, but unfortunate again pretty much whenever. As we see some moblins on the overworld, pretty standard. Truant having a little bit of trouble with this screen scroll, looks like.
So, yeah, we're getting here started here. Kind of go over the flags. Like noted, this is the Pentaforce tournament, as it's been so called. At least for the brackets, or at least for the Swiss in the first rounds of the brackets. What that means is the runners only need 5 Triforces to get into 9, but there's a catch. Important items can be in 9. That means you may have to clear 5 dungeons to get your ladder to find your silvers, your bow. Also, the enemies you'll see, you will not see shuffled enemies between the overworld and underworld, so your Lionels will be staying. And
Speaking of ladders, Truant picking up the ladder as the Armos item. Sorry to interrupt you.
Hey, that's a great find. You want to find that ladder as early as you can. Makes digging dungeons a lot easier.
JVeth also picking up a candle at one of the Take-Any shops, just a little bit west of Start. The other thing, you may have noticed that all of the NPCs are giving you the same message, okay? That is because our lovely, lovely item, the book, has a special purpose with these flags. They will turn on the hint men and give them their normal text. Any other time, they'll just give you the random message that's pre-programmed. So the book is actually very useful here.
Both of our runners stumbling into dungeons. We've got Truant in 4 and JVeth in board 5. As you see, Fred has added the ability to either change the level wording to select 3 or 4, or have it random, which has some extra selections in there.
Yes, one of those selections naturally is random. But Truant is going to explore this White Sword Cave. Finds Take-Any roads. Those are definitely appreciated. JVeth getting an early bomb drop. Very nice on him.
That's not a bad start with the Take-Any roads. I've got, looks like 1 up on Death, or 2 on Death Mountain. Okay. And 1 to the coast item, which happens to be the blue boomerang. So we probably won't see that tonight.
As you were saying, Truant immediately picking it up. That said, he does not have any other weapons. TGG may not approve, but it's definitely a justifiable play here.
This Truant is going back up to Death Mountain. Still no bombs, no real way to kill anything, so very limited in what we can check. And JVeth looks like he is over. Oh, and we find the sword.
Yes, wood sword at vanilla level 3. That's really good for JVeth. And ooh, 72 rupees. That's our large secret this seed. Money may start to become an issue.
That is ugly.
Certainly not as ugly as it could have been, but definitely not a number you want to see. Also, things you don't want to see. Lionel beams to the face.
That's never fun.
Never, ever fun. JVeth's going to immediately use those bombs to dig out a little bit as he gets a small secret of 9. That's also not that great.
Yeah, we're going to have some money issues in this seed, it looks like. Now, with the items that we're able to get and what we need, that may not be a problem.
That is entirely true. The red ring is out there somewhere. It is not forced to level 9. So that would obviate the need for a blue ring. Bomb upgrade,
out there as well.
Silvers are out there, so you don't need wood arrows, maybe. Probably even. Still might want bomb upgrades or buying bombs if they are hard to come by otherwise.
And the hints. Now, that might be what you save your money for if you find the book quickly.
Yes.
As looks like JVeth is taking a note there of where this hint shop is, thinking I'll come back later.
Absolutely a good idea for it, as Truant is finding out that these Octoroks do have 0 HP, or at least the red ones do, so he will be able to kill those and potentially pick up some goodies there.
Unfortunately, it didn't look like the blue ones were, which would be your bomb droppers, so...
Unfortunately, but the game knows, and that's why.
And JVeth, not having his ladder yet, is going to pass up that boomerang.
I'm not 100% sure he'll even take it even with his ladder. He does have a wood sword after all.
He's got the sword at this point. Now, you notice it's taken JVeth a little bit of time. The advantage Truant has is the screen scroll at the starting screen.
Yeah, it definitely gives him a lot more maneuverability. Screen scroll, definitely one of the harder tricks to do, to know how to do consistently, but the benefits are very, very tangible. And also, if you can screen scroll, you can also probably ladder clip, which is another pretty invaluable tool. But JVeth has his ladder, and we're back to more or less parity. Actually, a little bit better, because JVeth's got a sword and Truant doesn't.
And 33 for the medium. Ugh.
That helps a tiny bit. I mean, 33 is a little bit above average, and it is by far the most popular, the most common secret to find.
Now, the other thing you see over here is the price of keys.
Yeah, it was not exactly a great price on keys, with money being as bad as it is. Don't be fooled by Truant's huge rupee count. He's found 2 of the 3 big secrets.
And we've seen several races come down to keys. We've had runners have to step out of 9 on the hunt for Ganon or Zelda because they were out of keys. So the ability to purchase keys could turn the tide here in a close match.
Yeah, it's definitely a really bad feeling to be stuck in a situation like that. But JVeth is going to use his ladder, and he'll be checking out this area in the southern part of Death Mountain as well, it looks like.
That's commonly known as the Forgotten Spot. It's one of those really hard to route in locations where you just kind of don't ever want to come here unless you just are forced to.
It is definitely not the... It's definitely not an easy location. Truant taking a save. Interesting. Just gonna keep his 180 rupees intact, I imagine. He also has not found any of the bonus caves that JVeth did, so he doesn't even have a candle to work with.
I would imagine Truant would be routing over towards the Deadwoods here fairly soon. Either that or a vanilla start.
It does seem like the likely way to route this, yeah. JVeth is exploring the Any Roads a bit more, and it looks like he's heading into the forest.
On half a heart, Trent's going to have to be extremely careful not to take any hugs, beams, or Octorok
Tech-Dice jumping into his face, yeah.
That screen is just annoying with half a heart.
I almost thought he might have considered picking up a heart. 26 rupees, though, not exactly worth it.
Yeah, it's one of those times where you're like, okay, the up A is not horrible. As he finds level 7, he'll be able to pause up A and refill his health here.
Yes, level 7, the hospital.
Now, 7's one of those dungeons where you find it early. You might pick a couple rooms, see if you can get lucky in early item, and looks like we're kind of bomb blocked.
Little bit. Truant still does not have any good way to get bombs, as JVeth getting a little too close to that bush, so the candle flame just barely went off screen for him. But he finds level 1, which is really good,
And
as Truant picks up his red candle. So JVeth, there are going to be 2 items in here. This is also a really small dungeon. And it looks like he has appeared at the head of the eagle, more or less, and finds an immediate Triforce.
Now, the real problem with 1 right now is we have no keys and no bombs. And 1 has a couple of choke points in it that are a little bit problematic.
That is certainly a potential problem. JVeth is still going to go back and see how much further he can get. And does find that bomb block, as you said. So he will need to pick up a bomb somewhere if he wants to continue anywhere. As Truant's going to Vanilla Blue Ring Shop, still looking for that sword, but he should find it fairly quickly with this route setup.
As JVeth's going to make his way into Vanilla 2.
Going to kill these moblins, gets a bomb drop. He's gonna check this, and then he's probably gonna go straight back to level 1.
Oh, definitely.
He almost went straight back to level 1 without checking this screen, but it's good routing to just give it a peek.
And the other important feature that we haven't talked about yet is this tournament is first dungeon shapes. So your vanilla game, if you memorized your maps as a kid, that's what you're looking at tonight.
Yes, I believe it goes to shapes in the brackets, and then
I don't think
random between first quest, second quest, and shapes in the Elite 8.
I don't think we're having shapes at all. I think it was it becomes second quest at some point, and then I think it becomes mixed quest. So you could walk in and be in Vanilla 1, and then walk in and be in Second 2. But I would have to check the challenge to confirm that.
I'm not sure you can have like a first quest 1, second quest 2. I think like 1 through 6 also always has to be the same.
Right. And that's just due to the way the dungeons are laid out in the game.
Yes, you have levels 1 through 6 that take up an 8x16 grid. Levels 7 through 9 take up another 8x16 grid as JVeth comes across the silver arrows in level 1.
Oh, that's a wonderful find. You won't be having
that is a huge find. If he happens to come across a bow soon enough, then he doesn't need to bother looking for any other items. He can just bum rush if he feels confident doing it. And against someone of Truant's pedigree, he may think he has to. Finds a red candle instead in level 1, but he is out of here. He's got the Triforce, he's got both items. No use dawdling.
Yeah, red candle's not a bad pickup here in 1. Little extra firepower on a screen.
I see what you did there.
Once. Yeah, I know. I went to the TGE School of Commentary.
Didn't we all? So
yeah,
Truant, go ahead.
All right. So to get back to our topic of the brackets and the changes. So the first quest overworld will change to the second quest overworld. Add second quest monsters and remove dungeon numbers. So we'll still be in first quest dungeons. We just won't know what dungeon you're in until you start exploring.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then in the Elite 8, it becomes overworld and underworld are changed to mixed quest. And also that one becomes level 9's entry as random Triforces.
Yeah, you won't know how many. And also the hints go from helpful to mixed, but the book changes from translating the old men to becoming an atlas. So you'll get all the maps if you pick up the book. So if you haven't memorized all of your second quest layouts, that might be advantageous for you. But Truant is key blocked out of the rest of level 6. There's only that 3-room partition he can get into without any further keys, and he can't even do a pirouette to get another key door open. Unfortunate.
So back into 5 we go. Let's see if there's an answer in here for us.
Well, he does have bombs, which will let him explore a little bit more if he decides he wants to, and I think the answer to that is no. JVeth getting a nice bomb drop off those moblins up here at the top of the Lost Hills. And oh goodness, 4 rupees for a 4-pack of bombs. Yes, please. Brokey bombs approved.
I might even, with 7 bombs, I might go ahead and buy that 8th.
So definitely a good thing for JVeth to mark for later, especially if that happens to be the rare shop.
Yeah, we'll be visiting that corner here quite often if we can't get bomb drops.
Looks like he's going to try to screen scroll over to level 5. It looks like he's got it. Very well done.
Nice.
That was impressive. Oh, and it's the bow as the white sword item at level 5. But he doesn't have enough hearts to pick it up.
So that bow is going to require between 5 and 6 hearts tonight.
Yes, normally the white sword item requires between 4 and 6, but with JVeth trying it on 4 hearts and failing, we know it has to be 5 or 6. He's found level 4 here as well. But knowing that he technically does not need to search out any more items is definitely very good information. I expect he will do some digging. Red ring is still going to be great to have. Wand would be great to have. White sword would be great to have. But he, strictly speaking, does not need anything else.
Oh, definitely. At this point, you're going to see him dig for keys and the Triforce, and they're not going to mess with much else.
And looks like he was thinking about setting up a ladder clip, but does not look like he's going to brave those blue dark nuts. But probably what JVeth wants to see more than anything else is a heart container or 2. He's doing a really good job of dodging these Gibdos, putting the red candle to good use as well.
And there's a Triforce in 4, so
that's 2 Triforces already. Is he going to redig this level? It is kind of small.
Well, remember, he's also got to find at least 1 more heart container. We do have a question in chat. What hints would JVeth want? At this point, he would want hints to not be great. He would want them to tell you where the book is, and kind of lead, if Truant were to find the book before he finds the bow as the white sword item, lead him astray looking for items.
If JVeth were to find the book, then yeah, location level 9 would definitely be good to come across. He's come across the item here, as Truant is in level 8. So this will have the item for JVeth. Having a little bit of trouble with these blue dark nuts, but looks like he should be able to... Ooh, unfortunate. Tried to time his swing, was just a little bit off.
And to address chat, yes, there is right now the possibility that your hint is where the book is, even in this flag set right now. So for JVeth, that wouldn't be a bad thing for a hint to get eaten, knowing what he knows. He'll stumble across 9 sooner or later.
Also, locations of dungeons he's already visited, or locations of stuff that's close to the starting screen that Truant would obviously already have would be useful for him. JVeth using the bomb and placing it correctly to dispatch of that Dark Nut. Truant has found level 9. It is along the coast.
And speaking of that and the book.
Yeah, JVeth picking it up out of level 4. Truant picks up the letter. So it is JVeth. I think the fact that he didn't immediately up A tells me he is going to try and see if he can't come across this. He might try to see if he can't find the heart container here in level 4.
It's not a bad play at this point. You know where everything you need is except for 9.
But he is going to peace out. I can't say that I blame that play either. Yeah, JVeth realizing that once you get on that screen right below level 5, you can only go to the right or up the mountain. So it's going to be interesting to see where JVeth decides to go. It looks like Candle Row is the answer for now. Truant's found level 1.
Truant's going to stumble on his silvers and possibly red candle, depending on if he digs. Along with his first Triforce.
That may have been a bit of a Y-Force. Not sure he intended to pick that up, but obviously going to redig. Level 1 is a short dungeon, and he doesn't even need any keys to get through it, I do believe. And JVeth has come across the hint shop with the book in tow. He can't buy all 3 in one shot. He might do an up A save a bit later on once he's done exploring to see if he can't get some more valuable information.
And there's Magical Sword. We're probably not going to see this with the information we have tonight.
And there's JVeth with the up A save. It is not that far of a trek to get those hints either. But it's not looking like that's what he is thinking about, at least not right yet. Oh, there's this other hint shop at Malco Rock. There's that book hint. That we were talking about earlier. That's not great. Leop returns with the recorder, so that's one of the 2 items in level 8. That's the difference between Gleok lurks and Gleok returns. Sometimes can throw people for a bit of a loop. Ooh, Truant gets grabbed by a wall master. So JVeth hoping this 3rd and final hint is more useful for him. And Handle threatens with the boomerang. Not exactly what I would call useful. I mean, at the very least, I guess it tells him, hey, you don't need to dig the item out of 3 if you come to it. But 2 and 3 are the 2 dungeons we've not found yet.
Ooh, and beefy manhandlas in level 1.
Truant doing his best to take it down to 1 heart. Does get the hit and a 4-pack of bombs for his trouble.
Into a room of Wizrobes. The orange variety, but still, it's a room of Wizrobes.
It is a room of Wizrobes, and not much he can do there except take the hit. So JVeth doesn't look like he's going straight to the other hint shop. Let's see if these are any better for him. Greer grumbles with the raft. That's another item he doesn't have to dig, and level 7 is definitely not a dungeon you want to spend time digging, if you can avoid it. Magic Key is the other item in level 8. That's actually some pretty good information. So the Recorder and the Any Key, the 2 items in level 8, definitely really good luxury items in terms of stuff that's not strictly required.
Oh, definitely. And with the money in this seed, 8 might be a decent play. You get the recorder and the any key. You can quickly get back to dungeons to help traverse the world, along with, hey, you don't have to worry about keys.
Yeah, and especially with as expensive as they are. But let's see what this last hint is. Sail not to save the princess. We probably had that figured out already. So overall, the hint's not really great. JVeth, having not found level 8 yet, can't take full advantage of his knowledge, but he definitely knows 3 dungeons he does not have to dig. JVeth, however, does still need at least 1 more heart container, maybe 2. And we find out what the door repair is for this seed. Thank you for purchasing meteor insurance. That's a good one.
I didn't see how much the door repair was, but at this point, it's too much.
Yeah, too much is probably the answer. Truant has found level 2 at, I believe, the Lost Hills Armos. So we know this won't have a required item. It could still have red ring or white sword, both of which would still be very useful. It could also have a double heart container, which Truant doesn't know, but he's going to need at least 1 more heart container.
Yeah, 25 minutes in, and this has been a very unhealthy seed. 4 hearts, and not necessarily hard combat, but annoying combat, as you see Truant getting kind of Y-forced in 2 there.
Yeah, I mean, you had shooters, you had traps, you had Gibdos, and you had Gorillas. That's just a horrible set, just in general. He is going to dig out this item. Can't say as I blame him. It looks like JVeth is going to happen on that same location. Oh my bad, it was likes, not Gorillas. This is definitely not a good dungeon set for really anything. There's a very useful hint that JVeth already knows and Truant can't get, because he does not have the book out of level 4 yet.
So while it's not much of an advantage, I would definitely give JVeth the advantage here. Having the knowledge is almost more important than having the skills and the tools in some cases.
I mean, especially given the fact he knows where the bow is, and Truant has found the heart container, or at least one of possibly 2 heart containers in level 2. We don't know if that's the item drop heart container or the dungeon heart container. Either way, that is a very significant find.
And he's also found some blue land molas, which he just quickly runs away from.
I can't say as I blame him one bit for that.
Looks like he might be trying to clear him.
Right. Yeah. With the red candle, it has a little bit of safety. He can just... Oh! I was gonna say he can slip through while they're stuck on the left. Apparently the Landmos have other ideas. JVeth is going back to level 2. And yes, he's bombing north, so this will put him in the direction of that heart container that Truant found. I believe that was right on the ground for the taking as well. Like that.
I'll keep looking for the item here in 2. Now, we've seen some unpleasant rooms here. We've seen a lot of 2, so it's looking more like we're going to have to clear one of these rooms, such as the Well, that's not going to ever have your item, so it just checks out of there.
Yeah, Zelda's room, not exactly worthwhile. JVeth has found the location of the Triforce, but as Truant showed us, that Triforce is not a fun room to have to deal with.
And bunnies.
And JVeth,
you know where your bow is today?
JVeth does. He might be thinking to just roll the dice on the 50-50. He's going to keep going through it, see if there's another path. He does know where the Triforce is, so he probably is just going straight there, if he can.
And taking a torch out to the Gibdos.
So let's see how JVeth deals with this room. It's two Poles voices, a Gibdo, and a like with traps and shooters. As long as he's careful, he should be okay. Doesn't have to do a ton of fireball dodging, but definitely a bit. Honestly,
more than you'd like to on 5 hearts, though.
Yeah.
Speaking of 5 hearts...
5 hearts will get him the bow, and JVeth is going to pick that up as well. So, both our runners more or less at parity here. JVeth still has the huge information of all the other items that Truant does not know, although Truant's in level 4 and may pick up his book here. But, JVeth, knowing where the Any key is, knowing he doesn't have to bother with items in 3 or 7, he's trying to get this screen scroll again. Come on, JVeth, you got it once. It looks like he's not gonna waste any more time with it. Yeah, JVeth, if he finds level 8, he'll know it'll definitely be to his benefit to dig it out.
I'm Trent using nice ladder strategies to just snag that key and say no to those dark nuts.
That's probably a pretty good idea. JVeth going to be very happy as he gets his bow. And now it's basically a race for Triforce collection. And not exactly a bunch of easy sets we've seen. We've got that Dark Nut set that's not that great. We've got the Wiz Robes with the Gorillas and all those. It's just there. Turn left. It is possible to do a vertical screen scroll. It is just a lot more difficult, and you clip into the HUD, which does make setting up maneuvering things a little bit harder.
And Trent's in the room with the book. He's got silver arrows, so he'll dispatch that Gibdo and get his book. Or not.
No, he is not. Well, it's not that... I mean, Truant's obviously thinking that he don't need no stinking book. Sorry, Lizzie.
At this point, he's right. He knows where 9 is. He's got the bow, the silvers, and the ladder. I mean, Triforce and go.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. JVeth has not found level 8 yet, but I believe he's really close to it. By which I mean he's on that screen. So he'll definitely be interested to dig out this dungeon. Also, something that Truant does have that JVeth doesn't. Truant with 196 arrows compared to only, 66 now for JVeth. Probably won't come down to it, but it also does restrict JVeth's ability to buy things like a bomb upgrade.
So yeah, Captain Green making a good point. That book could pay off in 9. As Truant's relying on his skills of digging 9 as JVeth stumbles into the recorder here at 8.
It's marginally unfortunate. There's not a dungeon that's super close to 9. 8's probably the closest. And it's still not... Oh yeah, it is a straight shot, okay. But definitely putting that red candle to good use against these Gibdos. just keeping him in lockstep. And has he found the other item already?
No. We have our staircase.
Ooh, we've got the land moles on Ritalin, but thankfully not spawning in JVeth's way.
Goma not really blocking anything, just kind of there.
And JVeth
gonna go.
and Truant with 2 keys is going to take a stab at level 6 here.
Now, if JVeth is able to get the any key out of here, his key issues will be alleviated. The question is, will that haunt Truant?
I mean, it is definitely a cause for concern. Also, JVeth, if he is able to dig the Triforce out here as well, he'll be 1 away from going into 9, with the slight caveat, he doesn't know where 9 is as he takes a death. And Truant finds the wand in level 6, but he's recorder blocked from progressing any further. So he will not be able to get that Triforce without picking up the recorder out of level 8. So while he does definitely get a weapon that pays off for him, it's not going to help us. Ooh, we see a staircase, so this has to have the any key, doesn't it? We've seen all the other staircases.
So. We've seen all the staircases.
And it is technically Goma blocked, although this is block clippable. But JVeth looks like he's determined to just kill the thing and be done with it. Gotta be a little careful. Meanwhile, Truant's back in 5.
And the randomizer will never require you to know how to screen scroll or block clip. It's helpful, and there's our any key as we find the heart container in 5.
Alright, so that's where the heart container was. Also, 5 heart green tunic again, and definitely going to be problematic. Thankfully, the letter is right next to level 9, so JVeth should probably come across that in his exploration.
No, we didn't see
we have returns near the deserts. Huh, old man. You don't say.
No, we didn't see the item in 2, but we're down to 3 items left. So Red Ring is either hanging out in 2 or it's on the way to Ganon.
And that would definitely be very useful if JVeth is able to come across it. It's the Red Ring, the Power Bracelet, and the White Sword. JVeth finding a bomb upgrade. That's a very cheap bomb upgrade.
It's cheap, except for the fact that we have no money. Well, Truant's got money, but JVeth unfortunately does not.
He also doesn't have any hearts, as the Gibdo hugs do him in. Having that any key is definitely going to be an advantage for him, though. Because I do not necessarily see Truant coming back to 8, big as it is, unless he knows that the payoff is really good.
Well, the other thing that might force him to go to 8 is if he is blocked in the other dungeons. We've already seen the recorder block. He may end up in 8 only for the fact that he can't get anywhere else.
That is entirely possible. And instead, he's going to 7. We know the, is that the boomerang that's in here, or is it the raft?
Raft's in 7.
And it might be right here. Just the transport, it seems. JVeth continuing to dig this 8. Definitely wants to get a Triforce. Finds a compass, which is almost as good, but that's a long way to get to that Triforce from where he is. Looks like he is going to try to ladder clip here. This operates on the same principle as the screen scroll. Or looks like he's going to try horizontal clip. It's a little bit easier because it's the exact same setup as the screen scroll. The horizontal ladder clip is.
Ooh, and 7 is infested with blue Wizrobes. No,
Yes,
thank
we
you.
have Uncle Wizzy's Funhouse as another Dig Dogger in level 7.
That Dig Dogger doesn't appear to be blocking anything. Could be blocking the Triforce, but we'll just move on from that thought for now.
JVeth, thinking about screen scrolling the other way, realizes he can just bomb his way through. Probably a good idea.
Yeah, the randomizer never requires tricks, so that room will always have a bomb wall or a second door to get out of.
JVeth apparently has forgotten the map of level 8 a little bit. There's only one room that gets you down to the bottom row. It's this one. Thankfully only guarded by Stalfos. Finds a heart container as well.
We have not seen many of those, as we're just up to 6 hearts now.
And that's including the heart container item that's normally on the coast. But JVeth only having to deal with some orange Landimal as he's got his 4th Triforce. Watch out! Just say that Truant's got his 4th Triforce. JVeth definitely with the information advantage, and if he continues on this route, should come across both Letter 9 and the Potion Shop.
Forgetting he's got the red candle. Yeah. Takes a left to reset the screen.
And it can just be one of those muscle memory things.
And that's nice. There's a bomb shop right next to 9.
That is also really nice. Truant is gonna buy that blue ring with his heart starved as this seed has been. That's a very interesting... Oh, 2 bomb shops right next to 9.
All the bombs.
Unfortunately, JVeth losing, it looked like 18 rupees to Meteor Insurance. But he has found level 9. He'll just need 1 Triforce, but Truant is going into level 8.
He doesn't know it yet, but this is huge, and he needs to get both items out of here to help him out.
He would definitely be, well, it would definitely be worth his while to get both items, yes. He's gonna come across the recorder really quickly, so he might, and hopefully he doesn't think to immediately peace out. Oh, no, is this that's the Any Key room. He found the Any Key before he found the other thing. And JVeth getting a nice secret. Let's see if he
found the bomb upgrade.
Yeah, well, let's see. Truant is going to kill this blue Goma. He's going to be very pleasantly surprised when he sees his prize. And at this point, the recorder's no longer needed. He's at the closest dungeon to 9, and like the only thing he could really want for the recorder is to kill Dig Doggers, and well, he doesn't have to. This is going to be his 5th Triforce piece.
So Truant now kind of taking the advantage here with the wand for combat. He has all the knowledge and all the resources JVeth now, so just that wand upgrade might make the difference.
Yeah, the big thing that Truant has over JVeth is he has the Triforce out of 7, which was Wizrobe infested. Level 3, we still haven't found. It's probably buried somewhere on Death Mountain. Level 5 was Wizrobe infested, just like 7 was, and level 6 is Dig Dogger blocked. JVeth can get around that, but he has no way of knowing that.
This Trent gets trapped in with Manhandla, and no thanks.
Cannot say as they blame him there. JVeth is going to dig 7. If he comes across the Triforce, we could have a race as Truant gets the recorder. He's going to leave that behind, knows it can't be useful. JVeth is going to take on this level 7, it looks like. Truant, until he finds the compass, is probably not going to go into the bottom row to figure out that that's where the Triforce is. Some really beefy orange Wizrobes here, unfortunately, and also very stingy on their bomb drops. 8 red Wizrobes, 0 drops. That's harsh.
Well, they call it Uncle Wizzy's Funhouse for a reason.
Yeah. Who is it fun for again?
Us.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Truant making quick work of the land mola and runs right into Goma and says, I don't have to kill you.
And he's gonna come across his any key fairly shortly if memory serves as well.
Well, he's already got the any key.
The compass, sorry. JVeth trying to bomb and it will not open. So he's gonna have to duck out and reload on bombs. Or try another dungeon. If he's been to 6 and knows it's there, he might gamble on that. Truant's found his compass. And he is going to gamble on 6, hoping that he can get through there without needing bombs. Oh no, this isn't 6, this is 5. My mistake. Another Wizrobe-infested dungeon.
And JVeth stumbles into the heart container.
Yeah, he'll pick that up. Gets him to 7. That's certainly useful for him. As Truant has also got 7 hearts.
And he's in the Triforce room. So, Truant is picking up his 5th Triforce. Aljon, you want to tell our viewers at home what we're going to be looking for in 9?
Yes, so Truant will be going just 3 screens south to level 9. There will be a couple things he will be looking / listening for. He will, so he does have the book, so we will be able to get good information. But the first thing he'll be looking for is actually something he's listening for. The Roar Ganon. The pig spent all of his money on minions and none of it on insulation. If he's one room away, you'll be able to hear him through the walls and take him out. Second thing you'll be looking for is a single shutter door room that does not open even after you've killed all the enemies. If you find that, you found the location of Princess Zelda. And finally, there's going to be 3 old men with up to 4 helpful hints. The quadrant where Ganon's in, the quadrant where Zelda's in, the quadrant where the silver arrow's in, or if they're just elsewhere, and what enemy's guarding the compass.
So, Truant left that book on the floor. So
oh, he did.
He won't have any.
Not going. He won't have. He will have 3 old men just asking him, "Okay."
The other thing we haven't seen really is the give innings, where you are charged a key, bombs, a heart container.
Oh, the mugger rooms. Yeah,
the mugger.
We haven't seen any of those.
Or
we
the
also
bait
haven't
block.
seen our bait block. Yeah. So those could also steal a potential hint, not that Truant could use them anyway. And Truant is just bull rushing this level 9, not even bothering to even think about checking staircases.
And JVeth is just having as much fun as you can in an NSU room with Wizrobes.
And he seems to have gotten that blue Wizrobe very confused, and he's getting some good damage on it without really any ability to take damage in return.
So while we're looking for Ganon here on Truant, so I'm going to give a quick item recap just to get us up to speed. Silvers and Red Candle were in Dungeon 1. We never did find the item in 2. Lord Banana was in 3. The book was in 4. Heart Containers in 5. Wand was in 6. Raft in 7. Recorder and Any Key in 8. We have not seen the 2 items in 9. Bow was our ladder item. on the coast, or sorry, bow was our white sword item. The blue boomerang was our ladder item on the coast, and the ladder was our Armos item.
So that leaves the items in play in level 9 being the white sword, the red ring, and the power bracelet. Whichever one of those 3 is not in 9 will be in level 2. JVeth taking a death in level 5, and he's out. He's going to be exploring the Dead Woods. He'll come across level 6, but I don't think there's any bomb shops nearby.
Yeah, the other spot we haven't seen, because we still haven't seen Dungeon 3, it could be under Recorder Lake.
No, we got a hint in 5 that it was on Death Mountain.
Oh, it's on Death Mountain. Okay.
JVeth is going to find level 6 here. He does have the recorder and will be able to get through that Dig Dogger if he wants to. He is, of course, going to up A for a health refill first. And the Dark Nut set definitely easier to stomach than the Whiz Robes for him. JVeth picking up a clock that'll let him take care of the rest of these Dark Nuts very easily. So Truant continuing to just dig through this level 9. JVeth also finds bombs, that's important, and he'll pick up his wand too. Looks like Truant is down to taking staircases at this point. Interesting. And he's found our white sword.
Well, that puts our power bracelet or our red ring here in 9 now, so...
And JVeth doing a very nice strat. He has killed one of the Dig Dogger cores. He can leave and re-enter the room to kill the other 2 and advance further into level 6. This Triforce is early on, just past this Dig Dogger block. He'll be very well served. And he finds, life or money room, 70 rupees or 1 heart. That's terrible.
That's rough. and then rewarded with a bunch of blue Dark Nuts. That's thanks,
he
game.
gave up the money and not the life, so...
It's still not much of a
one
reward.
good thing going for him. He is using the wand sword strat pretty well, dealing 3 damage per hit, 2 from the stick of the wand, and then an additional 1 from his wood sword. You can build your own white sword.
Get a good look at Truant's map there, and he's got about half a 9 explored here now.
Yeah.
We still haven't heard the pig. I'm not sure if we've seen the shutter door yet or not. I don't think
heard the pig is really surprising.
And with 9, there's a couple strategies on how you go about dealing with a dungeon of this size. A lot of runners like to try to move diagonally so you get as much coverage as you can to hear the pig. If you need items, a lot of runners will just stick their nose into every staircase and try to complete them. And then finally, you just kind of go until you hit a roadblock, and then you start taking stairs. So run out of bombs, run out of keys.
It seems to have been more or less Truant's plan for this level 9. JVeth making pretty good pace through this 6, and all things considered.
Oh, definitely. The only challenge he's going to have now is Truant's been at 9 for a little bit, and we don't have to exit.
Yeah, that is very true. Unless the Truant runs into bomb issues and has to go out and buy some, he will probably stay in 9 for the rest of this race.
The only other thing you could want is a potion, and we haven't seen a potion shop with prices yet. And with 32 and 34 rupees, we're probably not talking happy.
Probably not in potion range. Truant finds a hint man, but cannot. But apparently Truant doesn't speak Spanish. But Truant is down to 1 bomb, just like we had said. Could be an issue. And meanwhile, JVeth is very methodically going through this 6. it should not be too much longer before each finds this Triforce. Or at the very least, the compass.
Choosing to fight these Dark Nuts on the NSU tiles instead of hopping onto the ladder and fighting them safely. That's a costly death there.
That is a very costly death. He's going to explore these 3 rooms and realize that there's nothing doing in those 3. I mean, that's one of those muscle memory things. You don't realize, hey, this is something I can do until it's a little bit too late. So JVeth will have to go through those rooms, and he'll probably have to clear out a good number of them again because he had wandered a little too far away. And all the old men with these hints that Truant cannot understand.
And another staircase room.
Another staircase. He may have just been doing that to try to despawn the Patra. Ooh! Takes the death on the Patra contraction. That hurts.
Yeah, Patra's not nice.
Is he ever?
Dead Patras are nice.
I suppose you're right.
They don't come back.
No, they do not. JVeth, however, is going to have to come back to those Dark Nuts as he takes another death. Like, you can see he's got a fair bit of level 6 explored as well.
That blue ring's not doing a lot of help when you have 3 hearts and Patra's taking 1 away from you every hit.
Yeah, it really is not. It helps a little, but not as much as you might hope.
Well, we find the bomb wall.
And the shutter staircase. Does this open?
There's a push block in here, so...
Okay, that would be it, yeah. Get ahead of myself a little bit.
I say it will. I mean, I guess it's very possible that it doesn't still. Fred's added so many new toys to this randomizer, it's hard to keep up with some of them.
That is very true.
And looks like he figured out where that staircase went, because I believe that room to the left is the Patra that had a snack earlier, as he gets his wand out.
I believe so. Yes. Yeah, this is the one in the... Yeah, these Patras are dealing 2 damage per hit, 2 hearts of damage per hit, because he's only on blue ring and not red.
Don't do math on Twitch.
Oh, and now we hear a roar all the way up in the corner. Oh, we've got... Is that a compass? We have a compass.
That is.
So,
Zelda
Truant knows where Ganon... Yeah, very, very close by. And, ladies and gentlemen, here's Ganon. A white sword means he's going to need to do 8 hits, and the Hyrule Driver will do 2 hearts of damage apiece. He's got to be careful. These fireballs are also going to do half a heart of damage apiece, but it looks like he's got a stun lock.
And we have bacon.
And now all Truant has to do is maneuver his way toward that flashing red light, and he will notch his first win in this tournament. JVeth continuing all over level 6, trying to find this Triforce piece. Honestly, the big difference here was Truant's perseverance, the willingness to take his way through that level 7, and he's rewarded with the win. Get your GGs in chat for TruantGamer, who has finished an official SRL time of 58 minutes, 12 seconds.
GG's there, Truant. And while we work to see if we can get Truant here in the booth, I want to remind you we do have another race coming up right after this, so if JVeth wants to continue on, we'll let him and we'll keep track. And we will be cutting over to that race shortly. And if you enjoyed hanging out with Algernon as I did, you can hang out, and I'll be here for that second race as well.
Yes, we'll have Ryko Rider and Liquid Husband starting at approximately 9:30.
And with this, we also want to thank Captain Green for performing the restream tonight and Malagord for doing the tracking. If you're looking for even more and you happen to like multi-Twitch, we've got races going on right now. If my schedule will cooperate.
Well, JVeth has picked up his 5th Triforce, and my schedule is cooperating. So we have Bartman and Sparkover, Wolfman 2000, hosting that on his personal channel. And Elendar and Zarnax 42 also underway at 8 o'clock. That was on OPT Lawyer's channel. And then we have the Liquid Ryko Rider at 9:30. So a couple other matches that fired at 8 o'clock. And we'll see what comes of those. I want to say I saw Zarnax here in chat, so maybe his race is already over. But in any case, JVeth has his 5th Triforce. He'll be heading to level 9. As let's pull in Truant for a quick word. Good evening, Truant. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Sounds like everybody's having fun over here.
That is definitely one way to put it. JVeth just about to enter level 9. You two were both really close when you were at the 3 and 4. You picked up your 4th Triforce at pretty much the exact same time. The big difference was you had gotten your 4th Triforce out of level 7, so you had the relatively easy level 8 as your finisher, whereas JVeth got his 4th Triforce out of 8 and eventually had to go through almost all of level 6 to get his last Triforce.
Yeah, as you saw, I started out jumping 6 to 5 to 7, hoping to get one of those to be easy, and then I wanted to finish up with 8 since it was so close to 9, and of course 6 and 5 weren't easy, but I'm glad 7 wasn't too difficult, and I was able to snag Blue Ring on my way over.
Yes, JVeth found Wood Sword early. He found the silvers, found the bow before you did. Realized it was 5 hearts.
Yeah, when I was cutting across that way, I wanted to save 4 until I got a sword, and I could double back and get that vanilla level 5 and the rest on the mountain up there. And when I saw that bow, I said, oh, Seed is free today. Let's go.
Yeah, not quite that free, but definitely a good job doing it. So this puts you to 1-1 into the saver bracket. How are you feeling about that possibility?
No problem. Let's go.
Yeah, Nora can tell you all about the saver bracket, I'm sure.
Don't let TG roll.
Duly noted. Also, we saw that you picked up the white sword in level 9. That must have felt nice to have come across.
Yeah, that was what I was kind of looking for as I was going through the dungeons. I kept checking staircases, even though I was technically in go mode. I was hoping for the any key, which I got in 8, and then I was hoping to stumble across red ring or white sword just to make it a little easier as I went in, and it was nice seeing that.
Yeah, JVeth picked up the book in 4 and ended up saving and retry buying all the hints, so he knew the item in 7, the item in 3, both the items in 8 before he had to step foot in any of those dungeons. He'll also be able to get the hints inside level 9 that you were just given an old man speaking Spanish for.
Yeah, that was another one. I saw that book in 4, and I decided not to grab it because I already had all the required items, so I figured the only thing it would really benefit me plus I knew where 9 was, so the only benefit would have been in 9 to tell me where Zelda and Ganon were, which kind of would have been helpful, but I
all
gambled.
the way up in the corner.
Yeah, so instead I tried gambling the money on the blue ring because I only had 5 hearts, I think, at that time, and I wanted to make sure that I gave myself the best chance to get through that in one shot.
Oh, definitely. That blue ring paid off dividends in 9 as JVeth is still without either ring and is having to be much more cautious when he opens rooms and Patrick's hiding. So with the seed like this, Truant, where money wasn't necessarily... It was plentiful if you found all the big secrets, but after that, you know, buying anything became difficult. What kind of thought process do you take on that as far as what purchases you make and such?
Yeah, normally I try and always target to have enough money for keys in this seed, specifically number 1. And if the money is really good, then I do try and prioritize blue ring, because usually you'll end up at 255 and you kind of need to spend it. So that's usually a priority. But in a seed like this, when the money was kind of low, I wasn't really prioritizing blue ring. I was kind of keeping an eye on my key count, but I was getting places. I had it marked the closest key shops, but it just kind of all worked out. If I wouldn't have found that any key in 8, I think I might have had a little bit more trouble. But I don't think there were that many keys in 9, were there? Or key doors?
Well, JVeth's running into a few, but he also has the any key, and he also has a date with a bunny to the face. He's going back to start.
Yeah, that's no fun. I guess I don't pay attention to the doors. Once you have that any key, you just blow through everything.
I mean, it's really easy to do, all things considered.
And I have to say, those 4 rupee bombs definitely made the seed a lot better, even though both bomb shops were next to each other.
Yeah, you had the 2 bomb shops right next to level 9, so if you did have to duck out, that was definitely convenient. Like, the seed didn't give you a ton, but when it gave you stuff, it gave you some really nice things.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I'm glad Death Mountain wasn't involved in this one.
Yeah, JVeth found the hint, level 3 was somewhere up in Death Mountain, but we knew that it had the raft from a hint he picked up.
Okay, yeah, I was at the beginning. I saw that I was getting all the 5, 6, 7, 8, and I was looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's like, come on, give me something easier. I don't want to dig these just yet.
So, Truant, what were you starting to think as you had cleared more and more of that level 9 and just started realizing, wow, I've done all this and I haven't even heard a peep of the pig, and you also hadn't seen a shutter door. So, were you starting to get a little bit concerned at the end?
Yeah, I said at the beginning of the tournament that around 105 is probably the mark to really get concerned. If nobody's done at that point, that's when you should be on your toes expecting something at any point. So as I was starting to creep up a little closer to 55, I kept it in my head that I probably had a 10-minute window to hurry up and try and close this out before I was going to start getting nail biting. And I mean, I guess it's
luckily for you, you pulled it off. Yeah,
and I think, just anecdotally, that's probably not the worst idea to think about it like that 105 is around when most of the races are probably going to be done, unless it's like a really, really bad seed or you're just getting bad luck.
And meanwhile, JVeth continuing to clear out level 9, down to a single heart, and only 11, well, getting a couple more rupees, but nowhere near potion money.
You know, this dine was pretty trolly too when you think about it, that you had to take a staircase to get over there from that Patra right away. But it kind of looped back around, I think, 2 separate loops there, that if you're just kind of rolling through trying to find something, you're not going to deviate from that immediately.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
And having the bow and silvers already going in, you're probably not checking too many staircases either. I know that's what I was avoiding initially, trying to just find my way around, hoping Ganon and Zelda would be somewhere in the middle or close to start.
Yeah, JVeth, he's gotten toward the top of level 9, but he's in the northeast part, not the northwest, where he needs to go. If he runs into those old men, which I believe were pretty much all in a cluster...
Unfortunately, he's going to have to deal with Patra, and that's not pleasant without a ring.
Patra is not pleasant whatsoever.
So with this, JVeth is going to continue on finishing 9 off. Again, give both our runners, TruantGamer and JVeth, a follow. They put on a great show for us tonight. Again, we want to thank Captain Green and Malagord for restreaming and tracking. We do happen to have another race coming up. Liquid Husband versus Raikou Rider. So we're going to start setting up for that. We're swapping out our restreamer and our tracker, so we will have to cut feed for just a moment. But we're going to leave this up here for a little bit longer while we start setting up that race.
And we'll be back in just a few moments.
All right, and we are back. Just doing some behind-the-scenes setup, and JVeth has, unfortunately for